guys, and welcome back to my channel for another video today. Today I am going to be giving you guys a tour of our brand new built-ins in our dining room. So if you didn't see my last video, last week I shared with you how we created this beautiful built-in 10-foot floor-to-ceiling cabinet in our dining room. And if you didn't already know, we are homeschoolers. So we are a homeschool family. If you are a homeschool family or you know somebody who's a homeschool family, then you probably know that with homeschooling comes a decent amount of stuff. Even if you lean maybe more towards a minimalist homeschooler, you still have a good amount of stuff. So we are homeschooling in our dining room this year, and honestly, this is kind of what I prefer. I like homeschooling around our dining room table. I like being able to prepare lunches or get dinner started and sit in our living room at our couch and be cozy while we are reading and all of the fun things. I prefer this, but I also don't want my home to look like a teacher supply store exploded. I knew that I had to kind of create a much more neutral look to our space and kind of hide away all of the things that are bright and colorful. So today I'm going to show you around everything in our built-ins. So let's start with the first drawer on the far left. This is my drawer. This is my teacher drawer. So this is where I keep things like my office supplies, things like our stapler and our tape dispenser. I keep my homeschool planner in here, and then any of my teacher's manuals that I use with my boys on a regular basis, I keep in this drawer. So this is mom's drawer. Boys don't touch this drawer. They know it. The cabinet below, if you didn't already know, we used to have a big buffet that we have since moved over underneath our television. And the buffet used to house all of our our service pieces. So any of our platters and pitchers and cake stands and all of that kind of stuff. Well, when we moved it into our living room, we put all of our board games and that kind of thing inside of the buffet. And so we needed a place to keep those. So I allotted myself one of these cabinets to house all of those pieces. So those pieces are a little bit tightly organized down in this cabinet. The second drawer, as you move along from left to right, houses our art supplies. So we have our standard kind of washable paint, brushes, watercolors, and we also have some kind of specialty art supplies. I am not an artist by any means at all, you guys, but our curriculum calls for things that are kind of more specific to maybe a higher level art than I'm used to. Y'all, I was kind of a Crayola girl and just kind of used crayons and markers and colored pencils, but my kids are way more advanced than I am. So they have things like watercolored pencils and chalk pastels and specific paper that they need to use for these different projects. So all of that is housed in that second drawer, along with a big plastic cheapo tablecloth from Walmart. This is a pro mom tip. If you have kids who like to craft, but you have spaces that you don't want to be covered in paint and markers and all of those things, go get one of these to cover your space with. It will save some of your furniture and your countertops and all of those things, I promise. So we pull that out when we're doing really messy projects. The second cabinet, as you're moving along from left to right, houses all of our manipulatives. So if you're a teacher or a homeschool mom, you know what a manipulative is, but these are just different types of materials that kind of provide a more hands-on experience for your kids as they're learning. So our top shelf houses more of our reading and language manipulatives, and then the bottom houses our math manipulatives. So the reading on top has things like letter stamps and magnetic letters and that type of thing. And we also have a craft bin in the back that holds things like beads and Google eyes and pipe cleaners and those types of things. In the math manipulatives, we have I have a stack on the left that houses our larger things that we pull out more regularly, things like pattern blocks and geo boards and fraction tiles. And behind those, that stack of 4 containers is a scale, and that's more for my first grader this year. And then in the center, we have a 10 frame. We'll pull that out from time to time for my younger one. And then I have a bin that has kind of our smaller manipulatives, things like linking cubes, tangrams, like a learning clock. And then kind of tucked over on the right, I have an abacus. And behind that bin, we have some little small counters that we will use from time to time. The third drawer holds all of our construction paper. So it's all along the left side has construction paper. And then the right side, I have stickers and popsicle sticks. And then I also have our travel containers that house our colored pencils. We have to travel once a week for a doctor's appointment. It's a solid 5 hours in the car. So we have schooling in the car those days. At least part of our school is in the car. So we grab those on that day so that we can have our school to do in the car. We also have our headphones in here. So my son will use these when he's doing his typing lessons. And we also have our wrap-ups. The third cabinet, as you go down below that third drawer, has on the top shelf, it has our caddy on one side where we hold all of our things like colored pencils and markers and crayons, all of those types of things that my kids need to have access to regularly. We'll just kind of set this in the center of our kitchen table when we're doing school. And then to the left of that, we have 3 paper trays. So my kids have access to just kind of lined paper, white paper, and then also one of those trays houses my 5th grader's math sheets, so he can go grab those when he's about to do a math lesson. On the top shelf behind those 2 items, we have 2 just basic white baskets. One houses extra notebooks and one holds our extra folders and clipboards. On the bottom shelf, we have a basket that holds all of our planned read-alouds for the year. Sometimes I'm a little bit overambitious and plan too many, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. So these are the read-alouds that we will reach for as we finish another book. And beside those books, we have our educational puzzles. And then back behind that, I have one bin where I keep extra school supplies. So things like if we were to run low on pencils or glue or any of those types of items, I have a basket where I keep those. So I go there first before I go to the store and buy more. And then behind the puzzles, we keep our perler beads. Honestly, because I don't want my kids to know they're there, so they're a little bit hidden, but we still have them because they do love them, but I try to avoid getting them out as much as possible. The fourth drawer and the last drawer, which is kind of closest to the end of our table, has kind of the basic school supplies that my kids can get to. So this is the drawer that's accessed the most. In it, we have pencils, our Sharpies and highlighters, our scissors, rulers, our expo markers, crayons, glue sticks, all of that good stuff. And then the cabinet below that, we actually cut out a little square in the back of the cabinet so that we can access an electrical outlet. So I put our electric pencil sharpener on that top shelf so my kids can get to it easily, but it's kind of hidden away. And then on one side, I have my younger son's phonics books. So any of those books that he's gonna be reading to me as he's learning to read. And then my older son's independent readers are on the other side in a basket. And then along the bottom shelf, there's nothing really back behind any of these. I try to keep this just as simple as possible in this cabinet because this is the cabinet that my kids are gonna access the most. So along the bottom shelf, we have 5 magazine files that I got at the Target dollar spot this year. And the first 2 are for my younger son, Ben. He is in 1st grade. And then the other 3 are for my older son, Caleb, who is in 5th grade. Now that gives you a tour of everything that's in the cabinets and the drawers, but we did build shelves all the way around. So I'm gonna take you around to show you what we put on the shelves. Now, I will say that I did not want our shelves to look like this is a schoolhouse. I want it to look like a dining room because it is a dining room, but I also wanted it to be functional for us. So I used a combination of some pretty kind of maybe service pieces and display pieces that kind of give that dining room feel, but also I added in baskets, and as you'll see, this kind of neutral, which we have loved this map right here that I got at Hobby Lobby, and then we have a globe back here as well. So different pieces that have really given it a lot of functionality, but also kind of given it a really pretty aesthetic as well. So as you work your way down from the left side, along the left side of the shelves, we have a white basket on the top, and that white basket holds all of our school glue, which I don't want my kids to get to super often because it's not something that we use. We prefer to use stick glue if we can, but we need school glue from time to time, so I keep that up there along with like our crazy scissors in that basket, so that's kind of hidden away. And then I have a little lantern that is from the Magnolia Hearth and Hand. That is something else I want to mention. I did not go out and buy all kinds of new decor to decorate this. I used what I had on hand for the most part and just bought a few specific pieces to bring it all together. I think that that's kind of really important to mention, because sometimes when we build things like this or we get new furniture, we feel like we need to go out and buy all new decor to decorate it. But what you already have is beautiful, and what you already have, you already love. So there's no reason to go out and buy more. So I did use what I already had as much as possible. On the second shelf, I have one of my cake stands, which is from Hearth and Hand line, which I love, and I pull down and use for birthdays and things like that. On the third shelf, I have a wicker basket that houses our dog's medicines and treats and his like ear cleaner and all of those things. So it's kind of his little basket. And next to that, I just have a little plant. And then on the bottom shelf, I just put a sign, and I have two little magazine wooden files that I have kind of flipped around, so they're kind of hidden and you can't see what's in them. And in one side, we have our nature study items, and then in the other side, I have some just workbooks that I will pull from to print off for my boys. Along the top shelf above the map, we have 3 baskets. And those 3 baskets, the first one houses kind of our extra science supplies, so things like our microscopes, our binoculars, our magnifying glasses, things that we aren't using on a regular basis but need to access from time to time. The middle basket is for our current science unit. So I have gathered all of the supplies that we need for our current science unit, which is outer space, and I've put them all into that basket. So as we are going through that unit, I don't have to run around my house to find the supplies that I need or realize that I can't do a lesson because I don't have all of the supplies on hand and I need to go to the store. I just gathered everything and put it in that basket, and it is ready to go. And the third basket up there houses our extra binders, which I don't keep a lot on hand. I think I have 1 extra binder up there right now, but it is nice to have 1 or 2 for just on hand in case we kind of switch things up and need a binder. On the right side of our shelves, we have 4 more shelves, and the top shelf has just beads and pipe cleaners to kind of just make bracelets and stuff. My kids will just kind of take that and run with it sometimes, so I don't have to dig in my craft supply bin. I can just pull that basket down easily. And then next to that, I just put a little plant. My next shelf has a cake stand, which again, I use cake stands pretty frequently. And then this is my 1 new piece that I got. It is a cookie jar, and it is from the Magnolia Hearth and Hand line at Target. And I really like that because it is airtight, so I can actually put cookies in it. And then the basket next to that, the wicker basket, has all of our cloth napkins, which we do use those pretty regularly. And then the very bottom has our filing box, and the filing box is for things that I've prepped ahead for subjects, and I like to keep items also for the end of the year for my kids' portfolios in there. And then I also have some little, I've just called them like helpers on the files, so I can grab something for my 1st grader if I need to work with my 5th grader one-on-one for 5 or 10 minutes and give him something educational to do. He's not running off and, you know, playing Legos. He's actually doing something educational, but it's something he can kind of do independently. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tour, this organizational tour of our brand new built-ins. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I hope this gave you some inspiration on some different ways that you could make your homework for you. I know we're not all homeschoolers. I'm not really a homeschool channel, although I have had a bunch of requests to do some more homeschool videos. So if that's something you'd like, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll consider doing some more homeschool videos. But I feel like sometimes we just feel like we need more space when we just need to make the space that we have work for us. And so I feel like this is exactly what we've done here. We have created a space in our dining room that functions perfectly fine as a dining room area. We can host people, we can have people over for dinner, but we can use it on a day-to-day basis with our kids and homeschool and learn around the table, and it's wonderful. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And don't forget to come and follow me over on Instagram. I will leave a link to my Instagram handle down below.